You're just about ready to start with about 2 more minutes before 11 for those of us that are practicing live. So if there's any comfort items you'd like to get, a blanket, a bolster, a block, some water nearby. Start off by introducing myself if we have not already met. I'm Lisa Turchet, and I will be teaching a gentle level 1-ish, everyone's welcome. Roy and Bobby, welcome. We'll begin seated today. So when you're ready, making your way into a comfortable seat, whatever feels best for you, whether you want to sit cross-legged or on a block or bolster or blanket, or if it feels better to sit on your knees and on your heels, pardon me, on your heels in a Virasana shape, or if you want to stay lying down if that feels more comfortable. Whatever feels best in your body. Once you found your comfortable seat, let's roll our shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall, closing your eyes if you'd like, finding your breath, breathing in through the nose, exhaling out the mouth or the nose. Whatever feels more natural, finding your own rhythmic breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Focusing your gaze on where your third eye might be, in between your eyebrows and the center of your forehead. Just focusing on a spot right there while you breathe in and out. Trying to relax all your facial muscles, not clenching your jaw, relaxing your forehead. And breathing. Maybe visualizing that breath coming in and out like waves crashing on the sand at the beach. No hurry. A nice even tempo. Gently bringing the right ear over to the right shoulder. Pausing here, taking a deep breath in and exhaling. Rolling the chin down through the chest, bringing the left ear over to the left shoulder. Pausing here, taking a deep breath in and exhaling. Rolling the chin back down through the center, right ear, back over to the right shoulder. Head back to its natural upright position. Rolling the shoulders back a few times and forward. And once again, sitting in your comfortable seat. If you'd like to set an intention for today's practice or just put a special thought out in the universe, and then if you'd like to join me in one Om to open our practice together today, or you can just listen. Deep breath in through the nose. Om. Nice, opening your eyes when you're ready. We'll begin on our backs today. Gently making your way to your back, keeping your knees bent and your feet planted on the mat about hips distance. We're going to begin with some cat-cow breathing on our backs. So on an inhale, we're going to draw our spine into the mat, gently raising our hips off the mat, just a few inches, trying to keep our shoulders on the mat as we inhale. As we exhale, bringing those hips back down and just elevating through our diaphragm. We're only lifting our heart towards the ceiling, keeping our shoulders on the mat as well. Inhaling, bringing that spine back to the mat, hips slightly lift up, shoulders stay down. Exhaling, bringing those hips back down, just lifting up the center of your back, just your heart, diaphragm lifting up towards the ceiling, shoulders staying down on the mat. Taking a few more on your own count. Inhale and exhale. I'm gonna let you take a few more breaths just while I start our music. After your next exhale, making your way back to a neutral spine. Gently windshield wiper your knees side to side. And then coming back to center. Letting both knees fall all the way to the right. The right knee will probably be able to touch the floor, not necessary if it's not able to. The left knee is probably going to remain a few feet off the floor. Taking your right hand and just gently pressing on that left thigh. We're not doing anything too strenuous. We're just gently opening up our bodies right now. We're just waking everything up. Trying to keep both shoulders on the mat. Breathing. Inhaling, bringing knees back up towards the ceiling. The right hand can come back down next to the right hip as you exhale. Let's take one cleansing breath here. If you want to gently windshield wiper your knees again, just to get your hips in a good position. Inhale, exhale. And then when you feel ready, letting both knees drift over to the left. Maybe the left knee can touch the floor. The right knee probably will not be able to, but maybe you're super flexible. The left hand gently pressing on that right thigh, just acknowledging it. We're not doing a big twist right now. Both shoulders remain on the mat if that's comfortable. And breathing. On an inhale, bringing both knees up towards the ceiling. Exhale, arms by your sides. Gently drawing both knees into the chest, wrapping your arms on the outsides of your legs, gently rocking side to side. You'd like to go in a circular motion on your spine in one direction and then the other. And then coming back to center. And then gently rolling over to your right or your left side, whatever feels more natural to you. Finding your way to hands and knees. I'm just going to put my battery pack back in. If you need an extra cushion for your knees, you can always fold your mat in half or place a blanket under your knees for a little extra support. Palms are directly under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet are on the mat. From here, we're gonna, on an inhale, lifting our right arm up towards the ceiling, following with your eyes. Exhale, right arm threading through the left, either to the right palm, elbow, or shoulder to the mat. Maybe even resting that right ear on the mat if that feels okay. Breathing. Inhaling up to hands and knees, exhale, tabletop. Maybe a little wag of the tail. And then coming back to center. On your next inhale, left arm reaching up towards the ceiling, following with your eyes. Exhale, left arm threading through the right, either to the left palm, elbow, or shoulder to the mat. Maybe even resting that left ear on the mat if that feels okay. Breathing. Inhaling up to hands and knees, exhale, tabletop. From here, we're going to extend the right leg out behind us, tucking the right toes under on the mat or the floor, giving a nice press back with that right heel. Nice stretch, and coming back to neutral. Next, left arm comes out, left bicep next to the left ear. Staying here if this feels like enough for you, or maybe elevating that right leg off the mat. Flexing the right foot, hips in line, drawing in strong through your root, your pelvic floor. And then staying here, or maybe bringing right knee, left elbow to touch. Taking 2 or 3 crunches, if that feels okay. And then after about 2 or 3, left hand comes down, right knee comes back down, hands and knees. You want to wag your tail again, just to kind of shake everything out. And then back to center. Next, the left leg comes out behind, tucking the left toes under. If you want to give a nice press back with that left heel. Coming back to center. Right arm comes out, right bicep next to the right ear. Staying just like this if that feels like enough, or maybe elevating the left leg off the mat. Flexing left foot, hips in line, drawing in strong through your root. And then staying here, or maybe bringing left knee, right elbow to touch. Taking 2 or 3 crunches, if that feels okay for you. And then after about 2 or 3, right hand comes down, left knee comes back down. Hands and knees. Big toes touching, knees wide open, sitting back on the heels, arms extended long, forehead to the mat. Keeping in mind, you can always come back to this child's pose anytime during today's practice. If you're feeling lightheaded or dizzy or just need a little break, it's always available. On an inhale, coming up to hands and knees. As we exhale, tucking the toes under, lifting the knees off the mat, drawing the hips up and back to downward dog. Lifting up and back with the hips, attempting to get the heels on the mat. Not mandatory. Feet are wider than hips width. Big toes in line with one another. Thumbs are parallel. Hands are about shoulders distance, pressing all the knuckles into your mat, all your finger knuckles. Giving your shoulders a nice roll back so the insides of your elbows face one another. And then drawing back with your hips once again, ears in line with the biceps. Maybe keeping a soft bend in your knees if you're feeling any pressure, if you want to pedal your feet side to side a few times. Releasing any tension in your neck, your shoulders, if you gently want to shake your head no. And then finding your downward dog shape that feels good in your body. From here, we're going to bring our right hand a few feet closer to our left hand, and we're going to step our right foot through to about a 90-degree bend. We can use our right hand to help walk that right foot through. We're going to pivot our left heel in, and then maybe using our right hand and then our left hand to walk ourselves up to standing. Hips facing forward, then our left foot becomes kind of about a 60-degree angle. Hips are facing forward. Straight arms next to the ears. Warrior one, right side. Grounding down through that left heel, lifting up through your right quad, relaxing the shoulders, active arms. Breathing. From here, we're going to bring our right forearm to the top of our right thigh, and we're going to reach up and over with our left arm reaching past our right toes, opening our chest towards our left, breathing. On an inhale, turning to face the mat. Exhale, left hand comes down to the inside of the right foot. Right hand comes to the outside of the right foot, pivoting your left heel out. Both hands planted. Right leg comes back to meet the left. Top the push-up or hands and knees. Then we're going to lift the hips up and back to downward dog once again. From here, we're going to bring our left hand a few feet towards our right hand, and we're going to step our left foot through to about a 90-degree bend. You can use your left hand to help hoist that left foot through if that's helpful. Pivoting the right heel in, and then maybe using the left hand and then the right hand to walk yourself up to standing, hips facing forward. The right foot becomes about a 60-degree angle, straight arms next to the ears. Warrior one left side. Grounding down through that right heel, lifting up through the left quad. Relaxing the shoulders, active arms. Breathing. And then from here, we're going to bring our left forearm on top of our left side. Right arm reaching up and over past those left toes. Opening our chest towards the right. Breathing. Inhaling, turning to face the mat. Exhale, right hand coming to the inside of the left foot. Left hand outside of the left foot, pivoting the right heel out. Both hands planted, left leg comes back to meet the right. Top the push-up or hands and knees. If you have it in your practice to take a chaturanga, otherwise making your way up and back to down dog. Whatever feels best in your body today. From here, we're going to take a big step with that right leg. Left heel pivots in. Coming up to standing, we have our left foot is parallel to the back of our mat. We have a strong bend in that right knee. Right knee is in line with the right second toe, arms extending wide. Maybe stepping that left foot back slightly. If you want to roll your shoulders back and draw them away from each other, gazing over that right middle finger. Breathing. On an inhale, straightening the right knee. Exhale, pivoting your hips towards your left. Reaching forward with the right arm, either to your calf, ankle. If you have a block available, you can place a block on either side of the right foot. Left arm reaching up towards the ceiling, opening the shoulders, gazing inside that left palm, or keeping your gaze down towards the mat. Maybe keeping a soft bend in that front right knee if you're feeling any pressure, engaging your pelvic floor as you breathe. inhale, coming back up. Exhale, bending that right knee through warrior two. And then straightening the right knee, reaching up and back with the right arm. Left hand sliding the back of the left thigh. Opening up those right ribs. Breathing into that right lung. Inhale, exhale, bending the right knee, right arm coming up and down outside of the right foot, left arm inside of the right foot, pivoting your left heel out. Both hands planted, right leg comes back to meet the left, push up or hands and knees, belly or hover, cobra or upward dog, back to downward dog. I'm gonna turn this way so we're facing the same direction, but we're still in down dog. On an inhale, big step forward with the left foot, right heel pivots in. Coming up to standing, arms open wide. Strong bend in that left knee. Your back right foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Hips are facing forward for you. So your left knee is in line with your left second toe. Arms drawing away from each other. Relaxing your shoulders as you extend. Maybe stepping that foot back or forward, seeing how it feels best in your body. On an inhale, straighten the left knee, exhale, pivoting your hips towards your right, reaching forward with the left arm, either to your left calf, ankle, foot, blocks. Right arm reaching up towards the ceiling, opening the shoulders, gazing inside that right palm, or keeping your gaze down towards the mat. Maybe keeping a soft bend in that front left knee if you're feeling any pressure, engaging your root as you breathe. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, bending that left knee. And then straighten the left knee, reaching up and back with the left arm. Right hand slide at the back of the right thigh. Opening up those left ribs. Breathing into that left lung. Inhale, exhale, bending the left knee, left arm coming up and down outside the left foot, right arm inside the left foot, pivoting the right heel out. Both hands planted, left leg comes back to meet the right, push up or hands and knees, belly or hover, cobra or upward dog, back to downward dog through hands and knees or plank, lifting up and back to down dog. From here, we're gonna kick our right leg up towards the ceiling, pointing our right toes. We could always bring that left knee down to the mat if we need a little extra support. Bending the right knee, opening our hips towards the right side wall if that feels okay. Otherwise, hips can stay facing forward. Maybe giving that right knee a stir clockwise. And then counterclockwise. And then coming back to center. And then from here, we're gonna draw that right knee through our center, hovering over the backs of our hands, opening our right shin to a figure four, keeping our weight centered, sliding that left leg long behind, left knee to the mat, top of the left foot, still keeping our weight centered, maybe coming down to our forearms. We can stack our fists, resting our forehead on the stack or on a block. We could always place a block under that right hip. If this is painful for any of you, I'll show a modification where you can come on your back. I have a battery pack here, but imagine I'm lying oddly on my back and I'm crossing my right ankle over my left knee. And you can stay like this, or you can lift that left leg off the mat. You'll still get a nice stretch in your hamstrings and glutes. Otherwise, staying in your pigeon, whatever feels best for you. A few more breaths on this side. On your next inhale, bringing the palms of your hands to the mat, straightening your arms, removing any blocks, exhaling, rolling over to that right hip, swinging your left leg around, making your way into cross-legged, gently rolling forward, coming to your hands and your knees, stepping back to plank, or staying hands and knees if you want to take a chaturanga here, or making your way back to downward dog. Eventually, all of us finding our way to down dog. Once you've arrived to down dog, we're going to kick that same right leg up that we just pigeoned, kicking it up towards the ceiling, bending that right knee, opening the hip, giving it a nice stir clockwise, and then counterclockwise. We're welcoming some fresh blood into that artery that we just kind of cut off for a few minutes. And then we're going to park that right leg back down where it lives in our downward dog shape. If you want to pedal your feet a few times, and just taking a few breaths here, getting yourself situated back in your dog. When you feel ready, kicking that left leg up towards the ceiling, pointing the left toes. You could always bring that right knee down to the mat if you need a little extra support. Bending the left knee, opening your hips towards the left side wall if that feels okay. Otherwise, hips can stay facing forward. Giving that left knee a stir clockwise, and then counterclockwise, and then coming back to center. And then from here, we're going to draw the left knee through our center, hovering over the backs of our hands, opening our left shin to a figure four, resting our left knee on the mat, keeping our weight centered, sliding that right leg long behind, coming to our right knee and then top of the right foot. Staying here with straight arms, or maybe coming down to our forearms, maybe stacking our fists, resting our forehead on the stack, or on a block, and we can always place a block under that left hip. And then once again, if this is painful in your hips and or knees, you can always come to a reclined figure four and cross that left ankle over the right knee, and then maybe elevate that right leg. A few more breaths on this side. On your next inhale, straightening the arms, coming to flat palms, removing any blocks. Exhaling, rolling over to that left hip, swinging the right leg around, making your way in a cross-legged, rolling forward, stepping back to hands and knees or plank, optional chaturanga, downward dog. And then once again, we're going to kick that left leg up towards the ceiling, pointing the left toes, bending the left knee, opening our hips towards the left, giving it a nice stir clockwise, and then counterclockwise. And then parking that left foot back down in its home in our dog. You want to pedal your feet a few times. Just taking some deep breaths here. Maybe checking in with your legs, seeing if it feels like there's any fresh blood flowing in them. From here, we're going to step our right leg into about a 90-degree bend through our hands. 90-degree bend, knee directly over the ankle. Our left toes can stay tucked under with the left knee elevated, or we can release our left knee on top of the left foot if that feels more supportive. Hands can stay on either side of the right foot, or if you have blocks, or you can try bringing your hands to the top of the right thigh, drawing the inner thighs towards one another, lifting up, facing forward, breathing. And left knee can always come down to the mat if that feels more supportive. And then choosing to stay forward facing, or you can take a twist, taking the left elbow to the outside of the right quad, hands together in prayer twisting, gazing just past that right elbow, or keeping your gaze down towards the mat. And left knee to the mat is always an option. If you've taken the twist, coming back to forward facing, one hand on each side of your right foot, releasing your left knee to the mat, top of the left foot, drawing your weight back, extending your right toes towards the ceiling, sitting back wherever feels like enough for you. Maybe you can sit all the way in your left heel. Maybe it feels better hovering over that right knee. Maybe reaching for your right foot. Whatever feels best in your body. On an inhale, making your way to the top of your left knee. Exhale, rolling your right foot down, a flat foot. Bringing the right knee back to meet the left, toes touching. Sitting back on the heels, arms extended long, forehead to the mat. Inhaling up to hands and knees. As we exhale, tucking the toes under, lifting the knees off the mat, drawing the hips up and back to down dog. On your next inhale, we're going to step our left foot through our hands, coming into a 90-degree bend in that left knee. Knee directly over the ankle. Right toes can stay tucked under with the right knee elevated, or we can release the right knee on top of the right foot if that feels more stable. Hands can stay on either side of the left foot or on two blocks, or we can try bringing our hands to the top of the left thigh, drawing the inner thighs towards one another, lifting up, facing forward, breathing, right knee can always come down to the mat if that feels more stable. And then choosing to stay forward facing, or we could take a twist, taking the right elbow to the outside of the left quad, hands together in prayer twisting, gazing just past that left elbow, or keeping your gaze down towards the mat. And right knee to the mat is always an option. If you've taken a twist, coming back to forward facing, one hand on each side of your left foot, releasing your right knee to the mat, top of the right foot, drawing your weight back, extending your left toes towards the ceiling, sitting back wherever feels like enough for you, maybe all the way in your right heel, maybe hovering over your left knee, maybe you want to reach for that left foot, whatever feels best in your body. On an inhale, gently making your way to the top of that right knee, exhale, lowering that left foot down to flat foot, bringing the left knee back to meet the right, toes touching, sitting back on the heels, arms extended long, forehead to the mat. Inhaling, coming up to hands and knees. As we exhale, we're going to gently draw our shoulders a little more forward in the backs of our hands, walking our knees back slightly, bending our elbows, keeping them close to the rib cage, lowering all the way down to the belly. Once we've lowered all the way down, bringing one side of the cheek to the mat, arms long by your sides, flip-flopping your feet a few times, giving your hips a wiggle, rotating your wrists in one direction, and then the other. And then just taking a few restful breaths here. Inhale, facing forward, exhaling, extending your arms long in front. We're going to go through one limb at a time. On your next inhale, we're going to lift up that right leg. Straight right leg, pointing the right toes. Exhale, releasing. Next inhale, lifting up the left leg. Straight left leg, pointing the left toes. Exhale, releasing. Inhaling, right arm reaching out, strong fingers. Exhale, releasing. Next, inhale, left arm reaching out, strong fingers. Exhale, releasing. Now we're going to go opposite limbs. Right leg, left arm, and lowering. Left leg, right arm, and lowering. Now same side of the body, right leg, right arm, and lowering. Left leg, left arm, and lowering. Let's take a little break, bending the elbows, one hand on top of the other, one side of the cheek to the back of the hands. Taking a few restful breaths, getting ourselves prepared to lift all four limbs at once. Inhale, facing forward. Exhale, extending your arms long in front. Taking one practice breath in. Exhale, next breath in, lifting all 4 limbs off the mat at once. Drawing your shoulders back, letting your heart shine through. Taking tiny sips of air. A little higher, a little higher. And releasing, lowering all the way down, bending the elbows, one hand on top of the other side of the cheek to the back of the hands. We're gonna take that one more time, unless you've had enough, in which case you can take a little break. But if you wanna take one more super yogi pose, inhale, facing forward. Exhale, extending your arms long in front, practice breath in. Exhale, next breath in, lifting all 4 limbs off the mat at once. Shoulders back, heart shining through. A little higher. And releasing, lowering all the way down, bending the elbows, one hand on top of the other, one side of the cheek to the back of the hands. From here, bending the knees, flexing your feet to the bottoms of your feet are parallel to the ceiling, facing forward. If you want a windshield wiper your feet side to side. And then coming back to center, reaching back with your arms, either for your heels, ankles, toes, pant legs, attempting to grab something, whatever is there. And then choose to stay just like this. Or if you want to take it one step further, drawing your knees together, flexing your feet, using your feet to kick up your hands and your hands above your feet, drawing your shoulders back, letting your heart soar through. One more breath in. And releasing, letting your legs, arms face, breath, flip-flopping your feet, giving your hips a wiggle, rotating your wrists one way and then the other. And then just taking a few restful breaths here. From here, we're going to place our hands under our shoulders, facing forward, pressing ourselves up to hands and knees, and gently sitting back on our heels. From here, we're going to slowly roll over to our right or our left hip, whatever feels more comfortable, extending our legs in front, and then making our way to our backs. If you want to bend your knees first, and then use your hands to walk yourself back to your back, maybe your elbows as a kickstand, and then gently making your way to your back, whatever feels best in your body. Once you've arrived, we're going to place our feet on the mat about hips width, knees facing the ceiling, maybe slightly pigeon toeing our toes. So our toes are a little more in than our heels. Being able to brush our heels with our fingertips is usually a good indication we're in a good spot. Staring straight up towards the ceiling. Grounding down through the bottoms of the feet on an inhale, lifting up the hips. As we exhale, drawing the inner thighs towards one another, pointing your knees forward. Staying just like this if you'd like, or if you want to try placing a block under your sacrum, your tailbone area, at whatever height feels best. You can even try tucking one shoulder blade at a time and binding your hands beneath you if that feels good. Or maybe none of those things, whatever feels best in your body. And then from here, if you want to try kicking one leg up towards the ceiling and putting that foot down, and then kicking up the other leg, you can try playing around with that a few times. And then make sure both feet are planted on the mat. On an inhale, lifting up the hips, removing any blocks, untucking your shoulders if you bound them. As you exhale, slowly lowering one vertebra at a time, all the way down to your neutral spine. Once you've arrived, gently windshield wipering your knees side to side. Coming back to center, drawing your knees into your chest, wrapping your arms on the outsides of your legs, gently rocking side to side, maybe in a circular motion in one direction, and then the other. And then coming back to center, we're going to continue to draw the right knee into the chest, extending the left leg long and flat on the mat. Straightening that right leg up towards the ceiling, binding the fingers behind the right hamstring, giving it a gentle press. And then bending that right knee. With our left hand, we're going to draw the right knee towards the left side of our bodies, trying to keep both shoulders on the mat, and then turning to face the right hand. Maybe checking in with our bodies and seeing if we're any more flexible than we were in the beginning of class when we did a little intro twist. Now we're doing a bigger twist and seeing if it feels any different. On an inhale, gently lifting up the right knee. Exhaling, rolling back to your neutral spine, hugging both knees into the chest, wrapping your arms on the outsides of your legs, gently rocking side to side, maybe in a circular motion in one direction and then the other. And then coming back to center, continuing to hug the left knee into the chest, extending the right leg long and flat on the mat. Straightening that left leg up towards the ceiling, binding the fingers behind the left hamstring, giving it a gentle press. And then bending that left knee. With the right hand, we're going to draw the left knee towards the right side of our bodies, trying to keep both shoulders on the mat, and then turning to face the left hand. Inhale, gently begin to lift that left knee. Exhale, making your way to your back. Drawing both knees into the chest, wrapping your arms on the outsides of your legs, gently rocking side to side. Coming back to center. If you want to bring your arms to the insides of your knees and grab the outsides of your feet and take a happy baby or a one leg at a time baby, if that feels good. Since you're home, and if you want to just take a really generous happy baby, whatever might feel good in your body. Or if you want to bring the soles of your feet together and take a Baddha Konasana or butterfly shape, or if you enjoy plow and you want to gently bring your legs over your head and your toes behind you, if that feels comfortable, or if you're close to a wall and you want to do a few minutes of legs up the wall, that's always a delicious one at the end of class. If you're taking a plow or something where your legs are over your head on the floor behind you or in the middle of the room, gently begin to come back to your back on the mat. If you're in a happy baby, gently begin to draw your heels to your backside. If your legs are up the wall, I would encourage you just to stay like that because it's so delicious. But if you're on your mat doing something that I mentioned before that, we're going to gently press our knees towards one another, wrapping our arms on the outsides of our legs and make ourselves into a really tiny ball. Bringing our chin to our chest, forehead to our knees, squeezing ourselves as tight as we can, pursing our face, making ourselves as little as possible, and then letting everything go. Legs long in front of us, arms by our sides, flip-flopping our feet, giving our hips a wiggle, rotating our wrists in one direction and then the other, letting your shoulders melt into the mat, the back of your head, your occipital bone, softening your jaw, your forehead, and then finally closing your eyes, making your way into Shavasana, your final resting pose of class. I'm just going to switch on a mellower song, but we're still in our Shavasana. Gently begin to start wiggling your fingers and toes. When you feel ready, slowly rolling over to your right or your left side. Hanging out there for a few moments. Gently begin fluttering your eyes open and closed a few times. And when you feel ready, making your way up to seated, and we'll close our practice together today. Once again, finding your comfortable seat from the beginning of class, closing your eyes if you'd like, finding your breath, that third eye gaze, doing a quick check-in with your body, seeing how you're feeling now from the beginning of class, if anything shifted, and maybe taking a moment to acknowledge something or someone you're grateful for. And if you'd like to join me in one Om to close our practice together today, or you can just listen. Deep breath in through the nose. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste, Lisa.